Living alone at 17 really ruined my dating life. It made me never trust men again. Because the problem was I was the only one out of my friends that had her own place. And the reason I had my own place was because I was in foster care. And when you leave foster care, social services, the government, they put you in a flat or a hostel or a B&B, a mother and baby unit, whatever they think you'll cope with. And they thought I'd cope in a flat and I didn't. But what happened is when I was on dating apps, because I've always used dating apps. I mean, I go through phases. I'll delete them for a couple of months, download them for a couple of months, delete them again. But I prefer dating apps because I'm quite shy and introverted in real life. But what would happen is I was always straight up and told men that I had a child. And because it can be a deal breaker, so it's important to me that men know who they're getting involved with. They are getting involved with someone who has other priorities. But what would happen, and it was brilliant, I was able to test men, but what would happen is the minute a guy would find out I have a child, I don't know if it's because of my age, but they might automatically have assumed I was easy, because that is a common assumption. If you have a baby as a teenager, people think you're a slut. It is what it is. It's up to you to prove them wrong, unfortunately. So once guys found out I had a child, they would ask, do you live with your parents? Do you live alone? So I would say alone, as in, me and my child. And what started happening is this happened probably with about 4 or 5 guys. So this was kind of common. A guy, the day before our date, or maybe on the day, they would message me like, oh, I know we were going to go out for dinner, but how about I come to yours and cook for you? How about no? I cook for myself every evening. I want to go out. I begged my mum to look after my daughter so I could meet your stupid self. You're not coming to mine. Or when a guy would suggest the first date, they would say, oh, we could just go to yours. We could just chill at yours. We could just have drinks at yours. They always wanted to come to mine, and I hated that because I knew what that meant. Or it would happen where I would be on a date and they'd be like, do you want me to walk you home? So I'd be like, yeah, okay. And then as soon as they get to my house, they'd be like, oh, can I quickly use your bathroom? That was their way of getting into the house. And I just got so sick of it. Men just assuming that because I lived alone, that meant they could come over. Because again, it was a novelty. Now it's not a novelty. Like, it's very easy to be on a dating app now and meet someone. Like, imagine if you're in your 20s. It is getting hard for people in their 20s to live alone, but some do it, or some have flatmates, roommates, housemates, whatever. But when you're 17, it's a novelty. When you're a 17-year-old boy, it's a novelty to meet someone who actually has a house where there aren't parents. It doesn't happen to me now, even though I live alone now, because a lot of men I talk to, they already live alone. So dating is good for me now, but back then it was horrible. So what I started to do to test men, because I would find it so awkward when a guy would be like, so should we go back to yours? I would always want to say no, but I'd find it so awkward. So I'd still say no, but it felt so uncomfortable to do so. I would feel guilty about saying, no, you cannot come back to my house to try and sleep with me. I would feel awkward about that. I wouldn't now, but we're going back. So what I started to do to test men, for the 4th time, I started to, on the day of the date, I would text a guy and say, I can still meet up at 6 p.m, but I need to be back by 11. And that was my way of saying to a guy, you're not coming home with me. I need to be up early. I'm going home alone at this time. And there were 2 types of guys. There would be the ones that would say, okay, no problem. Those are the guys that recognize, listen, if you really like a girl, you'll be more than happy to spend 4 hours with her. If you like a girl, you'd be happy to spend an hour with her. And I really like those guys. And those were the guys that I would probably end up going on at least 2 or 3 dates with. But then there were the guys that once I said, oh, sorry, I can only see you for 3 or 4 hours and you're not coming back to mine. There would be guys that'd be like, oh, well, should we just reschedule then? Because then they knew they definitely weren't coming back to mine, so they didn't want to see me anymore. Those are the ones I wouldn't date. Those were the ones I would not go on a date with. I wouldn't see them. That would be it. I would say, okay, yeah, we'll reschedule. And then the next day I'd block their number. I had so many trust issues after that, because even as I got older, whenever I'd go on a date with a guy, I'd just think, please don't try and invite yourself back. Or if they asked, again, if they walked me home and asked to use the bathroom, even if they genuinely wanted to use the bathroom, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll just wait here. I'll wait downstairs for you. As well, guys used to do, they also try and do the whole, oh, can I have the tour? Give me the tour of your house. No.